It doesn't matter how much you enjoy your work. Someday, you'll find yourself waking up in the morning with a sore back and achy knees, and your body will tell you that it's time to stop working for now. Sadly, we will all have to face this at some point. However, the question that remains is whether or not we will have enough money to hang up our work boots and move on the next stage of our lives. The idea of retiring early for those with lower incomes is probably a fantasy. This shouldn't be the case, and I'll show you how to retire early on a low income in this video. If this is your first time visiting our channel, we encourage you to click the subscribe button so that you don't miss any of our life-changing videos. Getting rid of all harmful debt in your financial life is the first move that is absolutely essential if you want to be able to retire early on low income. Notice how I use the word harmful when describing debt. The reason for this is that there are some types of debt that can be incredibly beneficial in your request to retire early. Examples include securing a mortgage to fund a rental property or securing a business loan to get your operation up and running. You probably already know what I mean when I say harmful debt, but I'll say it anyway. Debts with high interest rates, loan for cars, credit cards, and payday loans are what I'm referring to. Let me crystal clear about something now. It's impossible to retire early if you cannot get rid of these types of debt, especially if you are earning a low income. How come? As a result of the fact that high interest debts destroy wealth. Here's an example of what I'm referring to. For example, let's say you had $6,000 credit card balance at the age of 18 and you were only paying $200 as the minimum payment each month. You'll need 41 months or nearly 3.5 years to pay it in full. Not to mention that the interest that you will have to pay amounting to $2,000. As a low-wage earner, may I ask, do you really have an extra $2,000 to throw at your creditors just for kicks? No, I don't believe that's the case. That's why avoiding getting into this kind of debt in the first place is essential to making the necessary advances in your finances in order to successfully retire early. Now, it's good for me to advise you to not mess around with these expensive forms of debt. But what if you are already up to your neck in financial obligations? If that's the case, you'll need to do some digging to get yourself out of this rut and back to the surface. To begin, think about how much debt you currently have. Determine which of your debts are past due and how much they are costing you. Then, starting with the ones of the highest interest rates and working your way down, sort your debts. To be honest, if you don't have a steady source of income, this process will take a while. However, if you're dedicated and willing to work extra hours to boost your earnings, it will be well worth the effort once you're back on track financially. Once you've paid off your high interest debt, you'll be able to enjoy an early retirement, correct? No, that's not quite right. Much work remains to be done. The next step in preparing for drinks on the beach in Mexico is to guarantee that your financial budgets are in order. Exactly what do I mean by that, and how can I explain it? Allow me to elaborate. Tactical financial management skills are needed when you have a low salary. It's important to note that high-income earner can afford to be a little more lax about managing their money and making timely contributions to their investments. If you're earning a low income, you must always keep track of your finances. Is there anything you need to do before this? Begin by dedicating yourself to two effective processes in managing your finances: frugal spending and computerized record keeping. Let's begin with a discussion of frugality. As opposed to being cheap, where you try to save as much money as possible, being frugal is not the same. When you're frugal, you only buy things that are worth your money. For example, if you have to spend money to improve your learning or specialized skills, but it can help you gain financial advantage, then it may be good enough to justify it. While if you were penny pincher, you would most likely pass on this opportunity. There are some value-added items that don't fall into this category, such as a new purse because it enhances your outfit, or a new golf club because it will save you 2 strokes. Once again, you must have a clear idea of what you want and what you need, and try to concentrate your money on your needs. Moving on the next step, which is automation. Now that you are aware that it will be constantly nipping at your heels whenever you spend your money, is the next step. To be clear, I'm not advocating that you go out and purchase a robot. This would be a desire rather than a necessity. Automatic savings deduction from your paycheck as defined by your employer is not what I mean by automation. In order to achieve your early retirement goal, you should make sure that a portion of your monthly income is set aside for savings. You may be asking yourself, do I really need to have automated savings if I'm already a diligent saver? That doesn't mean I'm a strict eater, but occasionally the cheesecake in my fridge calls out to me to be devoured. In other words, You want to eliminate any potential threats to your financial well-being. Having a system in place that ensures that you save rather than relying on your own self-discipline can help you succeed in your retirement savings journey. The next step is to create your retirement plan after you establish these two crucial financial habits: how much money they will need during retirement or how much they intend to live towards their peak years. They give you the look of a deer caught in the headlights. This is something that baffles me because so many people have the goal of retiring early. Fortunately for you, this won't be the case because you have the strategies in mind. You'll need three things in your retirement plan. You'll need a retirement saving goal, an investment allocation, and a spending plan. At the time of retirement, you'll need a certain amount of money invested. To ensure that you have money for your golden years, it is imperative that you accurately calculate your nest egg. As a general rule, your annual cost of living should be multiplied by 25 to arrive at this figure. However, I don't want you to work at Walmart till you're 95, so that's out of the question. A more conservative estimate would be 30 times your yearly living expenses. This means that you'll need $900,000 in savings to retire on $30,000. Now, saving $900,000 may seem like impossibility for some people. First and foremost, if someone goes out on a date with me, it proves that nothing is beyond my reach. There are always the option of learning to live on less if these numbers makes you uncomfortable. Determine how much money you need to save each month to reach your retirement goal once you have this number in mind. In order to save $900,000, you need to put aside $750 a month in the form of investments, assuming a 7% annual return. This means that if you're 25 now, you'll be free at the age of 55. The real question is, can you afford to set aside $750 or whatever amount you've determined is appropriate on a monthly basis? This is where your budget, your favorite 6-letter word, comes in the scene. Whether you despise them or adore them is up to you. They are a vital part of early retirement strategy. How come? The money you'll need for your early retirement can only be obtained through them. To put it another way, if you crunch the number and discover that you won't be able to save money for your retirement, you've already discovered the first retirement major hurdle. Your budget can be tweaked until you can meet your investment goal. Nevertheless, what happens when you're unable to free up enough money each month to meet your required contribution, no matter how tough it may seem? Get ready to put in some serious time because you've got a lot of it coming. Sometimes in life, you have to give up something in order to get what you want, and if you're short on funds to fulfill your investment commitments, this would be one of those occasions for you. You have no choice but to increase your income in this situation. What if I told you that I could afford to retire early on a limited wage and still have enough money to live comfortably? Trust me, you won't be asked to begin creating $500,000 a year in a matter of weeks or even months. But if you can, that would be a great alternative. Just start figuring out how much you could indeed afford to put aside each month and make up the difference with extra hours worked. In other words, if you're trying to invest $750 a month but can only come up with $400, an extra shift a week can help you get there. Even if you don't like the idea of having work longer, the fact that you'll have to put up with your boss for another 10 years or give up time with your grandchildren because, as I have said, they grow up so fast is enough to make it unbearable. We'll return to the robots once you've reached the amount you need to meet your retirement goals. In the same way that you should automate your savings, also automate your investment to put abundantly. If you want to be able to retire early even on low income, you can afford to miss each and every investment effort. You must eliminate the possibility of human error, just as you would with your savings. What's the secret to this? In order to accomplish this, you must set up an automated system that automatically withdraws funds each month and invest it toward your retirement saving goal. To avoid forgetting about your retirement obligation when you're occupied with work, on vacation, or binge watching a new Netflix series, you can set up an automatic transfer to a retirement account. You now have all the details you require to begin planning for early retirement. Congratulations! Even so, I'm well aware that for some of you, prospect of working another 3 decades is downright terrifying. You may not really want to go work in the morning. In light of this, it begs the question of how you can make the entire process go even quicker. There's nothing you can do to speed up time or make investment return work faster. If you're currently a low-income earner, you have the option to shed that label. I'm sure you've already figured out how ineffective this strategy is for making money. If you look around, you'll see many people work half as many hours as you do while earning 2 to 3 times as much money. This is a lot of time and energy they spend for salary that doesn't even cover your basic needs. In reality, the ideal way to accelerate your retirement is to contribute more frequently. As a result, you must significantly increase your earnings in order for this to be possible. In my own case, the extra $2,000 to $3,000 a month that I was earning as a freelancer significantly shortened the time that it took me to retire. And now I am sharing with you how I exactly did it and how to do same thing. It will take you 30 years to reach your goal of $1 million if you're contributing $1,000 a month at 7% or $1 million in 30 years. It takes just 15 years for one to invest at $3,000 a month, which is a significant amount of savings. In other words, the more money you put away, the sooner you can retire. Even though making more money isn't always easy, I'm trying to convey that the idea that although you're making a low salary now, doesn't mean that you'll always be making low salaries. Your market value will skyrocket and you'll never have to work for a low-paid job again because of it. When you're 55 and sitting on a beach in Mexico sipping a cold beer, you won't regret getting out of your limited income, I promise. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, like and share with your friends, and turn on the notifications. Thank you for watching and I will see you at the next one.